What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I am here with the 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe. This one is the fully loaded calligraphy trim, and this one is the hybrid variant. So Hyundai has sent me this Santa Fe hybrid to keep for an entire week so that I can give you guys the most thorough review possible. Before we hop in, just a tiny bit of background information. This generation of the Santa Fe was introduced for the 2024 model year, and it's got a very polarizing design that's a bit controversial. I think you either love it or you hate it. Previously, this was a mid-size two-row SUV, but now, as you can see, they've squeezed a third row into the back of this car and made it a bit bigger. I wouldn't call it a true mid-size three-row, but more like what it really is, a stretched mid-size two-row with a third row kind of jammed in there. Now, why they opted to do that when the Palisade exists, I don't know, but I've digressed. But anyway, let's hop into this review. So first, as always, starting off with the ride quality, we have struts up in the front, multi-link suspension in the rear. Now in this video, I am going to make a lot of comparisons to the Palisade because I just had that car, so it's fresh in my mind. And also, there's a lot of inspiration from the Palisade that you can find in this Santa Fe, especially since the Palisade I just had was the calligraphy, and so is this one. They're both going after a more high-end luxury car kind of feel. And the Santa Fe, while it does a pretty good job at accomplishing that, it doesn't quite do it on the same level as the Palisade. But that's not to say that it's not a smooth ride. We are riding on 20-inch wheels with a 45 series sidewall on the tire. So while it isn't a super beefy tire, it does provide adequate cushion. And the suspension, it is very forgiving. After this giant snowfall that we just had out here in the Northeast, there are a lot more potholes in the road than there were before. Between all the salting and plowing, some of these roads have gotten pretty messed up. But this Santa Fe does do a really good job at damping the impact, that hard impact that you would normally feel going into a pothole. Also, little cracks and imperfections in the road, manhole covers, all that stuff. The suspension components, they do a really good job at absorbing that impact. It also does a really good job at isolating vibration. So it does have somewhat of a floaty feel to it. Again, not on the same level as that Hyundai Palisade. And these all-season tires, I believe, are Pirelli Scorpion. They barely produce any harmonic noise. And then I guess that leads me into the noise component of the ride quality. Just like the Palisade, it is pretty quiet. Now last year I had a Santa Fe XRT as a press car, and to me that car left a lot to be desired. It just felt like it was missing a lot of things, but this calligraphy trim level kind of fills in all of those missing things. It's a much more premium feeling vehicle than the XRT, but the noise level in this calligraphy trim is pretty low. And of course, noise also contributes to that feeling of high quality and being premium and luxurious. It does a much better job than the Hyundai Tucson. That model doesn't have quite the same level of premium feel as the Santa Fe and the Palisade. But this Santa Fe, in relation to its competition and for its price, I think it's one of the most premium options you can get. These seats are also incredibly comfortable, although we don't have the Ergo Motion massage function on this Santa Fe, unfortunately, but we do have Nappa leather on this calligraphy trim. Like I said, really comfortable. Of course, heated and ventilated seats here in the front. All right, so next let's talk about the hybrid system because that's kind of the most important thing for this model. So the hybrid system, it's paired with a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out a combined 231 horsepower, 271 pound-feet of torque, and that is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. So we get a combined 34 miles per gallon, so 34 highway, 35 in the city. And I have to say, for an SUV with 231 horsepower and 3 rows, I'd say that's pretty damn good. The range on this vehicle is also fantastic. It's up to 601 miles of range on the highway and up to 619 in the city. And if you look here on the gauge display, you can see I've used less than an eighth of a tank of gas. And I've been driving this around like all week. And you can see we still have 459 miles of range left. So what I can say about this hybrid system, it is very efficient at recharging the battery at any given opportunity. And that's especially impressive because if you see right here, right now we're in full EV mode, and this car actually spends a lot of time in EV mode. Now with the hybrid system, it's not the smoothest switch off between gas and electric. The two companies that send me the most press cars are Hyundai and Toyota. So I have a ton of experience driving Toyota's, more recent hybrid systems. And I do have to say Toyota does a much better job at making, the seamless transition when switching off between gas and electric. But I think the Hyundai system does a better job at being more efficient in keeping that battery charged and also providing more range and pretty much, prolonging the power that the system can put out. And also keep in mind, this is a regular hybrid system. This is not a plug-in. So a figure like 619 miles of range, you don't even see that on a lot of plug-in hybrids. But with that said, the efficiency of the hybrid system to me does come at a cost. And that cost is going to be the performance. Even with that turbo engine, it's not the quickest. 0 to 60 is rated at 7.7 seconds, which isn't terrible, but it isn't great either. I'm also not a huge fan of the transmission, which I'll talk about more after we do this acceleration test. But before we head into the acceleration test, let me just go over the drive mode. So the drive mode selector is this button that you push up and down right here. So we have Eco, Sport, My Drive, which is customizable, and Snow. So going into the acceleration test, as I always do, I'm going to put it in Sport mode. 6-speed automatic. It does have paddle shifters on the back. In a lot of vehicles, I find paddle shifters to be somewhat useless because the car shifts too quickly. That's not the case here. So they actually are pretty effective, and I'll again explain why as soon as we finish this 0 to 60. So once we get to our spot, we're going to come to a complete stop. Not going to brake torque it. Not going to use the paddles either. Just going to demonstrate how it is, just the way it is. Keeping traction control on too, full real world scenario. Complete stop and... Okay, so starting off with the launch. As you saw, quite a bit of delay, and sure, you can blame it on the turbo, but remember, this is a hybrid, so in theory, there should be a good amount of boost from the electric motor. But that delay was just a lot longer than I'd like it to be. I'm not expecting this thing to be a race car, but being at a standstill for 2 seconds while you have your foot all the way down really shouldn't be. The other thing I'll test is like right here, put my foot down, let go. There's a lot of hang time on the revs. In some scenarios, the transmission, regardless of whether it's an eco or sport, it's hesitant to switch into next gear. Also, the motor, when you're really pushing it, it is quite loud and it doesn't have, the most refined sound to it. Engines from competition like Honda, Toyota, the motors are much more refined. Also, when you rev this thing high, like towards redline, there's a lot of vibration in the engine that you can feel in the cabin. So at lower speeds, it feels a lot smoother, especially in EV mode. But when you kind of start to push it towards its limit, sometimes the car sounds like it doesn't really like that. Granted, there shouldn't be too many scenarios where you're really going crazy like that. Obviously, I'm doing it for testing purposes. But if you were to test drive this and then test drive a comparable vehicle like the Toyota Crown Signia or the Honda Passport, you would feel right away how much more refined those powertrains are. But the Hyundai does undercut in terms of pricing, so at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. Alright, and now it is time for the fun part. Time to take this out on the highway. Alright, let's put our foot down. So it definitely does a lot better on the highway when you're already in motion. And just like the Palisade, we have laminated glass on the windshield as well as the two front windows. So like right now, you know, even at these highway speeds, there's like almost no wind noise coming from the tops of the windows. So that laminated glass is doing a really good job at isolating wind noise. Now there is still a bit of road noise that comes from, like, you know, other vehicles passing by, but I would say it's still impressively quiet. Now a few things I like to always note, especially in a fully loaded Hyundai, is the turn signal camera. Love that. Wish every car had it. It saved me about 1,000,000 times. The other thing is in the head-up display, you see the little red warning there on the right side. That's the blind spot warning. So you get it in the mirror, just like you would do with any typical car, but you also get it there in the head-up display. So when you go to change your lanes, if you see that red, you know, that red warning there, you already know. You don't even have to look over yet. You already know it's not safe to go yet. Now, if only this Prius would get the hell out of the left lane so I can test this acceleration some more, but you know, Priuses, that's what they do. All right, thank you, finally. All right, full throttle. Again, not the quickest, but it does do a decent job on the highway, and I think that's really where it matters most. There's not a whole lot of scenarios where you're going to be doing 0 to 60. Really doesn't matter all that much. Being able to speed up on the highway, whether it's to pass somebody or to, you know, dodge something coming your way, that's what's most important, and this does a perfectly good job at that. Alright, so now we've hit some traffic, so I think it's a good time to test out the adaptive cruise control system. So all of those buttons are located here on the left side of the wheel. First, let's make sure lane keep assist is turned on. So you see the little green steering wheel there on the head-up display, and then we hit the button with the little speedometer that sets your speed, and then you can see the 46 miles per hour. That's the current speed. The little one to the left, that's the set speed. So we're gonna up that to 60. So right now we're set at distance 1, so you can change the distance between you and the vehicle in front. So right now I got hands off the wheel, hands off the brake. Now it is going to give you warnings to say keep your hand on the wheel. So as long as you just like give it a little squeeze, then that warning will go away. If it keeps showing that warning and you don't do it, it will turn off the system entirely. Okay, so far we're doing a good job with braking. Okay, again, good job with braking. That car coming through the lane. Okay, I keep hands on the wheel. Okay, now we're drifting out of the lane a little bit. That's not good. The Palisade I just had also was doing a little bit of lane drifting. It looks like for the most part we're doing okay. It's understandable to drift out of the lane at a higher speed, but we're going sub 50 miles an hour. So let's see how we do on this curve coming up. Luckily there's no one to my left. So, okay, so now we're doing all right. So that was decent. We're not going that fast. When I did this turn in the Palisade, I think I was going a bit quicker and yeah, it drifted out of the lane. It's a little bit slow on the acceleration to kind of close the gap between you and the car in front based on the distance marker you have set. So in summary, not meant to be an autonomous system. You do have to be alert and pay attention. It is nice to, you know, give your foot a break. You can just rest it. That part you really don't have to worry about. It's more so the steering. So you do have to be vigilant and, again, alert about the steering because it can drift out of the lane. This 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid Calligraphy has a 12-speaker Bose audio system. So let's take a listen. Hyundai's Bose audio systems are always hit or miss for me, but I'm glad to say this one we got a hit on our hands. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, except maybe I wish it just went a little bit louder, but the sound quality is nice and clear in all the different frequency ranges, and all the frequency ranges are well balanced. The bass isn't overbearing. So yeah, overall, good system. Alright, so now we are out here at the back roads to test out the steering and the handling of the Santa Fe. I like the weight of the steering. At lower speeds, it has a nice weight to it, but at higher speeds, it tightens up a bit, which I really like. And the great thing about the form factor of the Santa Fe, it has somewhat of a wide stance, but also it's relatively low, so we're not really too prone to rollovers. I mean, the possibility always exists, of course, but this vehicle does have a pretty low center of gravity, so you can throw it around a little bit, like right here. I mean, there is a little bit of understeer, so you do have to kind of compensate for that if you are going to throw it around like that. And also the all-wheel drive system, having power sent to all four wheels, especially helps so the back doesn't feel like it's just being dragged along. So yeah, when it comes to the twists and turns, you don't have to be too conservative with it. And in sport mode, it tightens up a little bit. It's not super noticeable, but a little bit. Now let's do a speed test of the steering. Pretty decent. And let's do a hard brake. Yeah, pretty good. So the MSRP of this 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid Calligraphy all-wheel drive with all its options is $52,485. A big thank you to Hyundai for sending out the Santa Fe for me to keep for an entire week so that I can give you guys the most thorough review possible. So please let me know your thoughts on this Santa Fe Hybrid down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please share with a friend and subscribe. It'll really help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos, and be sure to follow at Optical Automotive on TikTok and Instagram, and check out the page on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.